This video is going to be about comparing fractions when you have equal denominators. Remember that in a fraction like 2/3, the bottom number is called the denominator. The denominator. Kind of sounds like a superhero. The denominator. All right. If I'm comparing two fractions, like let's say 3/4 and 2/4. If I have equal denominators, so I have a 4 here in this fraction and a 4 as a denominator in this fraction, then the bigger fraction has the bigger number up top. So 3/4 is bigger. Let me show you how I know this. Here I have pie charts. So if I'm going to show 3/4, it would look like this is my quarter, and then these three would show 3/4. And if I'm showing 2/4 on the other one, or 2/4, there are my fourths, and here are 2 out of the 4. So you can think about pizza slices. If you cut your pizza into the equal number of slices, and one person eats 3 and one person eats 2, who ate more? The person who ate 3, because there's not as much pizza left. Here's another example. Let's compare 6/12 and 5/12. Well, again, thinking about pizza, we both have 12 slices in our pizza, but this person eats 6 out of the 12 and this person eats 5 out of the 12. Who ate more? The 6 out of 12. So that fraction's bigger. So remember, when the denominators are the same, the fraction with the bigger numerator is larger. There it is, words to live by. When the denominators are the same, the fraction with the bigger numerator is larger. So if I ask you, what's bigger? 3/9 or 5/9? Well, since the denominators are the same, we look to the bigger numerator, and 5 is bigger than 3. So that means that 5/9 is greater than 3/9. Now what if you had a question like this? Compare 4/5 and 7/10. Uh-oh, because this has a numerator, or a denominator, sorry, of 5, and this has a denominator of 10. So the denominators are different. Oh, how are we going to compare our fractions? If you said, think about equivalent fractions, Mr. Siemens, you would be correct. But I'm pretty sure you didn't say that. But let's think about equivalent fractions. What could I do to this 5 to get it to be similar to the 10? I could multiply this whole fraction by 2, so the numerator and the denominator by 2. If I multiply the denominator by 2, I get 10. And if I multiply the numerator by 2, I get 8. That's an equivalent fraction. 8/10 is the same as 4/5. And now I can compare because I have a 10 in my denominator on both fractions. So when the denominators are the same, 10 here and a 10 here, the fraction with the bigger numerator is larger. So which number is bigger for the numerator? I hope you said 8. 8/10 is larger than 7/10. So that means that 4/5 is larger than 7/10, because 4/5 and 8/10 are equivalent fractions. Let's try one more example. I want to compare 3/4 and 5/6. Ooh, okay. Well, we have two different denominators, so we have to try to get the same denominator. Unfortunately, 4 does not go into 6. So we have to find a number that both would go into? Well, if I count by fours, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. And now I'm going to count by sixes. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. Is there a number that both 4 and 6 go into? Well, there is. 12. They both go into 12. So I'm going to think of an equivalent fraction for 3/4 with a denominator of 12. So how would I get a denominator of 12? I would have to multiply 4 by 3. And if I multiply my denominator by 3, I should multiply my numerator by 3. What's 3 times 3? 9. Okay, so now I have 9/12. And for my 5/6, I want to get a denominator of 12 as well. So how does 6 go into 12, or how do you get 6 to be 12? Multiply it by 2. And if you multiply the denominator by 2, I should multiply the numerator by 2 to get an equivalent fraction. And 5 times 2 is 10. So now I have 9/12 and 10/12. Now I can compare them because I have equivalent denominators. So remember, when the denominators are the same, the fraction with the bigger numerator is larger. So what's bigger, 9 or 10? I hope you said 10, because you'd be right. 10/12 is larger than 9/12. So that means if we look at our original fractions, and I'll write them here in blue, that means that 3/4 is less than 5/6. And that's how you can use equivalent fractions to find equal denominators and then compare fractions. All right, good luck to you all.